All right, everybody, now we're going to talk about how to actually place your order. Now, right across the top of this slide that you're seeing is we use lists, not the cart. So I can't emphasize that enough. Do not put items into your personal shopping cart. Mary will not be able to see them, which means she will not know to order the products. Instead, we are using lists. So let's talk a little bit about what a list is. Lists are the place where you are going to add your items that you want to order. They're shared with the co-op so that Mary can see the items that are on your list and then place your order. And then right after this, we're going to learn how to create and use them. And like I said, we can't use the cart because Mary can't see it, which means she won't be able to place your order. Additionally, each individual cart, including your cart, must meet a $1,500 minimum in order for the order to be placed. Now, when we combine all of our orders, when all of our lists get combined and Mary moves them into her cart will clear that $1,500 minimum. But it's unlikely that your personal order would give you that minimum amount that you need. So even if you were to put your items in the cart and try to place that order yourself, you really won't be able to. So we're using lists instead. So basically what's going to happen is you're going to learn how to create a list, put items on your list, then Mary will take the items off your list, move them into her cart so that her cart has that minimum amount, and then she'll place the order. All right. So now let's talk about how we create our lists. All right. So in this section, you're going to see creating a new list and sharing it. And then we'll learn how to add items to your list and then edit items that are on your list. Later, we're going to add a section talking about reusing or deleting old lists. We don't have that ready quite yet because we're still kind of learning the exact best way to go about this. It's definitely doable, but we're just going to let us get through this first month, and then we'll come back and revisit this. So we're going to learn first about how to create a new list and share it with Mary. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to My List on your shopping home screen. So you can again access this home screen by clicking on Tools in the top. Well, right here you can see Shop in the top menu. You can click on Tools, and then there's a drop down that says My UNFI, or of course the Shop from the big button that was on the right hand side. So lots of ways to get here, and you can see those on previous instructions. Once you get here, you're going to click on My Lists. Then you are going to come to this page, and you might see some lists that are already pre-existing for folks that have started creating their own lists. And what you want to do is click this blue circular button with a plus sign in it on the right-hand side. So you're going to click on that. Then you'll find yourself prompted to name your list. Now, we really want you to name your list the same way every month. And again, in future months, when we talk about whether or not we're going to reuse lists, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for right now, we want you to name it with your last name only, and then a space, and then the name of the month. So for this coming order, you're going to put your last name, a space, and October. All right, please do that. Please keep it consistent. Then the next thing to do is to make sure you change your sharing permissions to shared within your store. If you leave it as private, again, Mary won't know that it exists. She can't see it, and your order will not be placed. So you must say that you want to share it within your store. Then go ahead and click Create New List. Okay, so your list is now created. Good job. And now we're going to learn how to actually add items to that list. So for a second, I'm going to go into the live program, and we're just going to run through these instructions and see it happen in real time. So here we are. I'm going to click on Shop up here, My Lists, blue circular button with the plus sign, list, last name. So I'm going to use, what's a fun last name? Because I've already got the Dean list in there. So we'll say my last name, space, October. I'm going to switch it from private to shared within your store. Create new list. Okay, these are organized alphabetically. So there's mine, created by me, and now I'm going to update it by me. Okay, so that's how we've created the list. I will say this, if you've created your list and you forgot to make it shared, if you click this little checkbox beside your list name, you can change its status. So right now, because this one's shared, I can say make it private. So I say, yep. Now, if we look at it, my last name, October, now with the checkbox clicked, it says share list. So I can click it again. Now the list is shared. So you can see that all of these lists are shared. They've got that little blue tag on the right-hand corner, and that's what you want to save. Okay. All right, so let's jump back to the user guide and see what happens next for adding items to your cart. All right, there's two ways to add items. I'm sorry, not to your cart, to your list. There's two ways to add items to your list. The first way I think is kind of the most foolproof and intuitive way, and that is to do it once you have found a product in the catalog. So basically, you're going to search for your items using whichever technique makes the most sense, whether you're going to use a search term, the departments, brands, whichever one works for you. And then you're going to select Add to List. Then you're going to choose your list. If you're going to order a full case, and we'll get to the difference between full cases and split cases. If you're ordering a full case of that item, you're going to choose the list with your name on it, and then click Save. All right. The other way to do this is to actually, if you have the product number, so if you're a person who stores the product number, you know exactly what you're looking for, you actually can search for it like we discussed in the search bar, and then follow the process we just discussed. Or you can go direct into your list and then click this plus button. Then you can enter in your product number, change the quantities that you need, and then click add to list. So if you've got a list of product numbers that you know already and that you're ordering full cases of, this is a great way to do it, right? You just kind of plug them all into this dialog box that you're seeing right here, adjust your quantities, add to list, and then it's all done in one shot. All right. So if you need to edit items on your list, again, you're going to go back to your lists and then change whatever it needs to. You can remove things, you can increase the quantity, but then just make sure that you click Save List. If you don't click Save List, any of the changes that you'll make won't actually take effect. And just I'm going to say this one more time. The items that are on the list with your last name must be full cases only. If you want to split a case, so you're only going to take 3 of the 12 items, there's separate instructions for that, and we're going to cover that next. Okay, so that's for the next video. We're going to stop right here. Let's go into the program, and we're going to work our way through this. So I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to look under N. And let's choose that we want, what's exciting? What's under Nutiva? Virgin olive oil. Great. So if this is the one that you want and you know that already, you can actually use this shortcut right here and say add to list. And you're going to again see the list of shared names come up, and then click that, click save. If you want to learn a little bit more about the product first, you're obviously going to open this up, do your reading as you see fit, and then say add to list. Again, scroll till you find the proper list name and then click save. You'll notice, of course, that nothing changes on my cart because I haven't put anything in my cart. You're adding it to your list. For fun, I'm just going to grab this item code. So if we had known that item code, you could do the same thing here. You could have pasted your item code in that. You'll get your results. You'll add to list. Now, because this is already in my list, it's actually telling me that. Now, if I click here and say that I want to edit it, I can add it to a different list, but I can't edit the way that it was added to the list. Instead, you would have to do that through going to your list, opening up your list, and saying, oh, I want to have one more. Save list. Now there's going to be two of these items on my list. Let's try this the other way. So I'm actually going to remove this out of my cart, save my list. Now instead, I'm going to add it using the item code. So we'll paste that item code in here. And I want 3 of these, add to list, and there it shows up again. Save list, and you're done. All right, so we've walked through how to create your list with your last name, space, and then the month name. We've seen how you can add an item to your list from the search results, as well as adding them using just the item number, and then how to edit items on your list. So that's how you go about actually ensuring that your order is going to get placed, making sure that it's shared with Mary so she can see what you want, and then creating your list. Now, the next piece of this is split cases, right? Let's say you don't want a case of 6, right? You just want 2. Now what happens? This is where your process is going to be a little bit different. So let's jump back in here. Split cases. So first thing to understand or remember is that UNFI only delivers full cases always, but the co-op will split the case for you. So in the past, there used to be a way to indicate that you wanted a split case in the UNFI program. Unfortunately, that doesn't exist anymore. So we've had to devise a new way to go about this. Now, we've tried a couple of different ways. We think this is the best way right now, but it could change in the future. So kind of keep your ears peeled. But for right now, for October, this is the way you're going to go about ordering a split case. So you're going to go through the same process as far as finding the item, just like we discussed. But the difference is when you add it to the list, instead of adding the item to your list named with your last name, you're going to add it to the list that says split cases, okay? And then you're going to click save. So let's look at what that is in real life. So I'm going to remove this out of here because I don't actually want it, a full case of it. I only want, oh, this is a good thing. Because I didn't click save just now, it's going to prompt me and say, are you sure you want to leave this page? Because if I leave it, it's going to leave it in my cart. So I'm going to say, I don't want to continue. And yes, I want to save my changes. So now it's not in my cart anymore. So we're going to search for that item number again. So here's that coconut oil. And this time, instead of saying add to my list, we're going to add it to, keep scrolling, split cases October. That's the list I want to add it to, and click save. Okay. So to double check that it's there, you can go into the list, look at split cases, and sure enough, there's the coconut oil. So now what happens, right? It's sitting in this list. Mary knows to order it, but she doesn't really know what it is that you want of that. Do you want 3? Do you want 5? Do you want just 1? So this is what we're going to do. This is kind of roughly the plan that we've got. Once the deadline for placing your order in UNFI has passed, so whatever it is that Mary tells you, you need to have your lists updated by, Mary's going to go in and take the entire split case list and export it. Basically, she's going to create a spreadsheet out of it. Then that list is going to be sent around to all the members that have ordered. And she's going to ask you to put your name and the instructions for how you want that case split. So you'll say, I'm the person who ordered this, and please only give me 2 of 6. Then she'll go ahead and place the full order as usual. And then on pickup day, fulfillment will work as it typically has. So we totally acknowledge that this part of the process is nowhere near as streamlined as it used to be. But because the functionality just doesn't exist in the program anymore, we're trying to find the best way possible for us to all kind of evenly share in the new responsibility and effort of making it work. So if we find an easier way in the future, or if we realize that, they've created a different capability for us, we'll certainly update you guys. But based on kind of the different research that we've done on how this might work, this seems like the most streamlined and foolproof way to work through split cases. Okay, cool. So we've made it to the end of ordering and split cases. Hopefully you're able to find your items using the tips and tricks for shopping, getting them onto your list, not into your cart. and then making sure that you're putting only full case orders in the list with your last name, but any split case orders onto the split case list. And then again, once that deadline has passed, you'll be contacted by Mary saying, please let me know what you've put on the split case list and how you want that split case handled. All right, everybody, that brings us to a close. Just a reminder that if you have any technical questions, you can contact me. This is my contact information. Remember, give me a quick text first before you call. But then if you've got any co-op questions, those still go to Mary. And you can find links to all the videos. Have fun shopping.